This is someone with a serious mental illness who also has corrupted sexually with kids. This is not okay. And why was she interviewed on Netflix? Why did they do that? Hello and welcome to Mad Hatter News, where everything is madness except for here. Ironically enough, we're just trying to make sense of the madness, really. We need to talk about Wrong Number, the high school catfish. It's a documentary that's been pretty popular on Netflix recently. Long story, very, very short. A girl from a very small town was getting harassed by an unknown number. They were saying a lot of sexual things to her, a lot of things about wanting her to herself and encouraging her to do that. Saying things like, this wrong number has been having sex with this young girl's boyfriend, then starts harassing the boyfriend, then starts harassing other kids in the school that aren't even friends with this girl. Turns out, after the FBI got involved and actually did a thorough investigation, everything came back to the girl's own mother doing the bullying. Yeah, the FBI got involved. That's how bad this got for this small town. It was the talk of the town. It was like the #1 story in the entire town. So yeah, the FBI had to get involved. And it turned out to be her own mom. But there are a couple things that Netflix did not speak about at all in this documentary that I think are highly suspect and kind of makes Netflix look like they're normalizing grooming or philia for women specifically. So let's get into it. First off, this mom was harassing the boyfriend. They're both young. I mean, even right now, when you see this Netflix documentary, look how young these kids are even right now. So think about how young they were when this actually happened. While they're getting interviewed, they look this young. But the mom's already been to prison and gotten out. I mean, this has been a long time that this has been happening, and she did it for almost 2 years. These kids were babies when she was telling them to offer themselves and do terrible things to each other. There are a lot of things to unpack here, but basically the mom is a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She needs to be locked up in a padded room. I mean, 5150, like forever. She's one of those people that really believes her own lies and the narratives and the really dysfunctional, delusional things that she makes up in her head to make everything okay. Basically, this mom is a perpetrator of Munchausen syndrome. And we've seen it with people like Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who notoriously also had documentaries about her where she went to prison after she convinced her internet boyfriend to her own mom in a terrible, violent, ruthless way. And then they skipped town. I'm sure you remember that. Munchausen syndrome is basically when a mother makes you sick to be your savior at the end of the day and look like a really great person and a great mom and be praised for that. So they want the attention from their own children suffering. And that's pretty much what this woman was doing as well, except it was Munchausen syndrome emotionally. Emotional Munchausen syndrome. Basically, she harassed her own daughter, literally sending hundreds of text messages per day to her own daughter for years, harassing her own daughter just so her daughter can cry and run to her for emotional support. But the entire town kind of seemed to know that it was Kendra to begin with, and Netflix really didn't say too much about that. People in the town knew Kendra for what she was. They all knew each other pretty well. So they had a suspicion that it was her. They also saw that she had a serious infatuation with her own daughter's boyfriend to where she would cut his meat for him if he was eating dinner, and he'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Thanks, I guess. But she wasn't even cutting her own daughter's meat. It was just really, really weird. She tried to invite herself on vacations with her daughter's boyfriend's family without her daughter. It was like very weird. I want you guys to look at the police body cam when the FBI finally confronted Kendra, Lauren's mom, for sending these 6,000 text messages. And let me know what you think. This was that the mom is comforting the daughter. The daughter looks very blank-faced. She looks very stunned that this is happening. And the mom is trying to, again, comfort her when she is the source of her pain and the FBI even getting involved. It's such a deranged type of scene to witness from this body cam footage. It shows truly the entrapment that she has on her daughter, to where her daughter is literally just like entrapped and has this Stockholm syndrome with her own mother. Even to this day, the daughter still wants to have contact with the mom. And the mom was love bombing the daughter when the mom was in prison. So they would like exchange, I guess, emails or whatever, and the mom would be love bombing the daughter. And the daughter still speaks well of her own mother today, saying that she wants to develop a relationship with her and really cares about her. And it's like, girl, like, do you not realize what your mother did to you? I mean, at a certain point, I feel like she's going to grow up and realize that her mother ruined her high school experience, ruined her boyfriend in her, first relationship in high school. Now the entire town looks at her differently because they don't forgive Lauren. People don't talk to this girl anymore at school. Her boyfriend and her broke up. They don't even speak anymore. And it's all because of this situation. The mom really ruined Lauren's life. And I think that she's just still so young that she doesn't really have the maturity or the emotional ability to process this, to figure out what her mom is actually doing to her still to this day. The one thing I want to point out is that if this was a man who had done this, they would not be treating him the same as Kendra. If a man had sent 16,000 text messages to children, okay, telling them sexual things, telling them to kill themselves, saying nasty things to them like this, that would be pedophilia. Are you kidding me? This man would not be interviewed on Netflix. Why is there a double standard here? That's one thing I really want to point out, is that when women are pedophiles and do things with kids, I have to keep bleeping myself, and do sexual things with children, people kind of look at that as if it gets a pass for some reason, as if it's any different than a man doing it. No, this is an adult doing this to kids. It doesn't matter the gender. They're doing something very wrong to kids. This should not be something that's like, okay, well, now we're just gonna interview you. Ready? Let's mic her up. No, no one wants to hear from this lady. All the things that she did was grooming, was corrupting children. She didn't even get that bad of charges. I mean, it was very, very slap on the wrist. Not even, it was a pat on the wrist, really, is what she got. It wasn't at all justice.
You don't understand why Kendra was in the documentary. Let me break it down for you. Kendra's own family member told us if she was here while I was filming this interview, she'd be standing right there dancing, trying to get everyone's attention. How do you think this woman felt for 22 months when she was harassing children via text message and the whole town was up in arms looking for who it could be? You just know that she thrived. All of the work and the energy that people were putting towards figuring this out for her own child, and she channeled that energy into wanting to text more. She could have stopped at any point. 22 months until she got caught. Now she's in her own Netflix documentary where she literally sits down and admits to being the worst mom ever. And I'm sorry, but to the documentarians, the producers, the director, like, to cut it like this, like, oh, it's a big gotcha to the audience because we've been interviewing her the whole time. You did not take this case serious enough.
From my thoughts, I think she should register as a sex offender. I think that she really does. And I think it should be against children. I think it should be on her record. There is no reason for someone for 8 hours a day, and she admits that. She says sometimes it's 1 hour, sometimes it was 8 hours, because she had lost 2 of her jobs and she didn't tell her family, by the way, for like a year. She was just doing this all day. Yeah, literally, this was her life. As soon as her kids went off to school, she was like, bye. And then she would just spend 8 hours a day harassing them, sending them actual text messages. Like, this is someone with a serious mental illness who also has corrupted sexually with kids. This is not okay. And why was she interviewed on Netflix? Why did they do that? But I want you to hear what the mom says in regards to what she thinks about what she did wrong.
Every single that.
Yeah, so she thinks that this is the same as an in-the-moment type of bad decision, or an in-the-moment decision that you make when you're a little bit inebriated. She thinks that 8 hours a day for almost 2 years harassing children with sexual text messages, telling them to themselves for 16,000 text messages, and getting the entire town to turn against her own daughter, she thinks that's the equivalent of making a bad decision one time. I don't know if this is just narcissism and just Munchausen syndrome. I think this is something even bigger than that. I think this person just really needs to be held away from people. And if they're not held away from people, if they're out there in the public, they should at least be on a registry somewhere so people can look it up if they want to. This should be on her record. She shouldn't be able to get jobs and just like be around people like this. Imagine working with somebody like this in the office and you know they're doing weird things and you know they're like, this is a weird person. I don't like the fact that the pedophilia aspect seems to be a little bit more normalized and they just brush over it. Women should never get a pass for that. Women are a lot more insidious and a lot more calculated when they are pedophiles. They really are. I know that men are calculated and that they're insidious, absolutely, but women are more able to mess you up in the head because they do it in such a way and they groom in such a way that they just get away with it. And it seems almost like they care about you at the same time, even though they're doing something so egregious against a child. And that's exactly what she's doing here. I think that more people need to talk about this because I haven't seen it talked about anywhere. This is not okay that they're just kind of brushing over this and being like, oh, she's a mom that's just a little crazy in her head. And that's it? No! If this were a man, they wouldn't be doing that. I really believe if you believe in equal rights, if you are a true feminist, you have to be equal. This is why people don't like feminists, to be honest, and that really makes me upset because they think that feminists have this double standard. And so they're like, you know, you want to do the same thing as a man, then you can punch like a man. Then they start getting that stupid. Like, we know that we're weaker physically than men. We're not trying to sit here and say that if a woman punches you, she should get a punch back from the man that's like 10 times more powerful and could kill her. Like, that's not okay. But actually having feminism is a little bit deeper than that. And that is, okay, please pay us equally. They should have equal jobs. They should be able to do things within the realm that they're capable of doing things. And for some man on the same level, they should be paid the same. They should also be taken to a court of law, exactly the same for the same things. They shouldn't be getting a free pass doing things like this when men would not get a free pass for this. We believe in equality. And if you're going to give this woman a pass, which it seems like Netflix did, just because she's a woman and she's just a little crazy, but she's a mom, who cares? That is a serious problem, and that's not feminism at all. That's giving somebody a pass for doing something terrible for no other reason than their gender, which should never happen. I got really heated about this, so I really want to show you a video that Cassandra Bowman made, and Cassandra Bowman is like just a character that this person plays. Definitely follow them on TikTok because they're so funny. But they did a mock interview, like satire, on the mom in her interviews, and I want you to watch it because it's so funny and it's exactly what the mom actually would say in these interviews.
To be honest, I think that in all of this, I'm the real victim. Like, yes, I did call my daughter a big, ugly, smelly fatty, and I did encourage her to kill herself 41 times, I think it was. But now the internet thinks I'm this monster, when in reality, I was just a really caring and loving mom who also happened to have a crush on my daughter's 13-year-old boyfriend. As a mom, all I wanted to do was figure out who was bullying my daughter.
It was you.
That's not relevant.
What was your family's reaction when they found out?
It was a tense day. It was a high emotion day. But every single one of us makes mistakes. Not a single one of us has lived a perfect life, including you. And realistically, a lot of us have probably broke the law at one point or another and just not got caught. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm sure people drove drunk, haven't been caught, right? But again, if you get caught, you're in the exact same situation I'm in, but for a completely different thing. So it's basically the same thing. I do feel that people lose sight of that sometimes. Because yes, what I did was kind of bad, right? But at the end of the day, it was just stalking, harassment, cyberbullying, and child abuse. So it's kind of in the gray area. It could go either way. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, Kendra, I completely get why you would do that, but it's also like, wait, low-key, Kendra, that was problematic. I see both sides, but mainly the one where it's like, yeah, Kendra, you go, girl.
Let me know what you think about this in the comments. I cannot believe that this woman is still allowed to be amongst us and she doesn't have anything really on her record against children. I think that she should. And also, I think that we need to talk a little bit more about women being true predators. This woman is a predator, and she's not being treated as if she is one. She's been given this really strange platform and ability to speak on this Netflix documentary. These kids aren't even old enough to even understand what has happened to them, and they're being interviewed about this. There's something just very wrong about this Netflix series. And I encourage you to watch it, but I also encourage you to comment on my video, because I kind of feel like it's a waste of time if you watch it. You're just getting a little bit of details when I kind of just told you everything that happened. But definitely, like, if you want to watch it, go ahead. I don't know. I'm not a Netflix, like, promo person. I'm kind of irritated at Netflix lately, actually, because they raise their prices and their series aren't really that good. You can't really find too many great movies on there. I don't know. Netflix has just been pissing me off lately. But anyways, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so you will not miss any of my uploads. Like, comment, all of those fun things. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.